going on, YouTube? Welcome to my channel. At the time of recording, I'm 32 years old, and this is my first video I'm making. And in this video, I'm going to discuss a topic about being in your 30s and the three things that nobody talks about being in your 30s. And people shy away, they're reluctant, or they're just afraid to talk about these three things, especially when they're in their 30s. So let's get into this topic, right? These are the three things that people usually fall into in their 30s: divorced, currently married, or in a very long term relationship. Maybe they're going to get married or maybe not. So these are the three camps, right? But there's this one camp, there's like this middle ground that not a lot of people I see discussing it. And even in your normal day-to-day life, like even when you go out and about and you find another person, right? And let's say they're like 31, 32, or even 38, 39. And if you ask them anything about like, their relationship status, or if they're seeing somebody, or they have an interest in somebody, just having a casual conversation, they'll kind of skirt around the topic, or they'll try to cope with it. They'll say, I haven't found anybody yet, but um, I'm still working on myself, and the right one will come along. You hear that, or you hear, yeah, I've been dating somebody, but I'm just not ready to get married, or I'm just not ready to take the next step. So the second topic is looks. When I go out and about in the public and I see people, right, I'm specifically talking about people in their 30s and how they are dressed, how they're groomed, how they're carrying themselves, and I realize that like the standard has really, really like gone down. Okay, if you look at pictures from like years ago, a lot of people used to wear suits and blazers and more formal clothing. At the very least, it was very fitted and it looked sharp on them. People would dress according to their height and weight class also. Nowadays we have people that are wearing clothes that are like two times smaller or three times baggier, and they're not dressing to their body shape that flatters their shape. They are length and width. You know what I mean? I mean, hardly anybody even goes and gets measured anymore for suits and blazers. So you see all kinds of things out there, and it's so easy to stand out because when you actually do take a little bit of time and dress up even a little bit nicely, I mean, heads turn in public. But nowadays, when you go out, you see people in sweatpants that are too baggy, that don't even fit right, sweatpants that look like they've been washed 1,000 different times. Okay, so they've never been changed or updated or replaced with new ones. You see people that have not done their hair and have things in their hair that has not been removed or washed or cleaned. If you get close up to some people, you can maybe even smell their breath, or see that they have things stuck inside their teeth. You see people awkwardly wearing different colors when they're putting an outfit together. Like they'll wear four different colors. They'll accessorize awkwardly, and it won't be symmetrical and congruent. So people in their 30s, I think that people think that like, hey, I'm older now. Like I don't really need to put that much emphasis into my appearance, looks, physique, things like that. I can kind of just have that dad bod, just sit around and wear a baseball cap and a hoodie and just go around. And then you'll see a lot of people saying, "Hey, man, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, let them do whatever they want. Okay, cool, do what you want." But for me, it's like I always thought, like, hey, man, there should be like when you go in your 30s, you should be advancing. You should be getting better dressed, better groomed, more fashionable, right? Like you should be advancing. Like there should be some standard. There has to be some standard. It can't just be everyone do whatever they want, whatever they want. Because how is there then a standard? Most people, they don't think it's important. They don't put in the time and effort into it. They don't try to find the best haircut. Um, they haven't been to the dentist in years. They don't, take time and go on Amazon or some other websites and try to find form fitting clothing. They'll have a gym membership, but they won't go there. And on their desk will probably be highly sugared foods, which will just gain weight and add to them. And then the worst thing, guys and girls, the worst thing that you can do anytime in your life, and especially in your 30s, the worst thing is take tobacco, drink, and do drugs. Now, these are the things that will completely wipe you. Okay. The other day, I was driving on the highway. I was going 30 miles to another city, and on the highway, I saw two billboard signs on my way that said, "Each day, 150 people die of fentanyl in this country." You might be thinking, "Hey, I don't take fentanyl. I just take weed, and I just take this drug." Okay, but that could be a gateway drug to fentanyl. Think about that. You could be doing that now, but what are you gonna be doing a couple years from now? Just avoid it. Avoid the nicotine. Avoid the alcohol. It's not helping you. You know what I mean? We're in our 30s. Like if we're living to 70, we've lived half our life. I want to live the next half healthy. I don't want to be decrepit and just put things in my body, and I don't want to fight against me. I already have to fight against the world in order to achieve the things I want, to get what I want out of the world. I don't want to self harm myself. And the third thing that people don't like to talk about in their 30s, and this one is pretty sensitive, but is money and wealth. Right? So when you're in your 20s and your teens, you kind of have like an excuse, sort of, right, of why you may not be where you want to be. Because I'm working on it, I'm in college, I'm learning the skill, I'm still living at home, I'm still paying off debt, things like that. But when you get in your 30s, people expect you to have your things figured out, right? Your money figured out, your life figured out. And trust me, we would all love to be there. I love to be there. Everybody watching would love to be there. The thing is that people don't take into account that life isn't always going straight up diagonally, right? You could have had things in your 20s, and now let's say you lost it because you made some bad decisions. Something bad happened to you, right? Or you had emergencies. Now you lost some of that wealth. Um, so now you feel like you're in your 30s and you feel like you're not on the right timeline because you said, I should have been had this much net worth. But what people don't take into account and factor is life events that happen to you. Okay. And they can be for the better or for the worse. And they can also teach you something. So people don't like talking about money in their 30s because it's very sensitive. Because for one thing, they may not be where they want to be, and they have less money, less wealth, and they don't want to, disclose that because it makes you feel bad about yourself. And you don't want to talk about things that make you feel bad about yourself, right? You want to talk about things that put you in a good light, especially to other people. And two, they could have had the money, but they had lost it, or events happened that make them to not have them as much money now. And then also a third thing is, a lot of people, they don't want to disclose it. They make a lot of money. There's people out there that make a ton of money, but they'll never disclose it. You know what I mean? Or they'll downplay it, and that's smart. Why would you disclose all the money you have, right? You want to keep something to yourself, right? Because not everybody's gonna have the best intentions for you. So money is a sensitive topic to people in 30s. So these three things: looks, relationships, and money. In your 30s, people expect you to have it all figured out, right? They expect you to be great looking, have a lot of money, and be in like a fruitful relationship. But people don't take into account life. Things happen. You could have had a great relationship, but you were going through a bad breakup. You could have had married, divorce, hookups, and all that things, and now you're just chilling. But people are gonna have feel some type of way. They're like, no, but you should be doing this. You should be doing that. Okay. I hope you guys like this video. Comment below how you feel like where you are in your life in your 30s. What your thoughts are on the video. What your own thoughts are about being in your 30s. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.